Good morning, guys. You see this? 2 degrees outside. And I'm sure that's not the real feel. But look, I gotta show you this. I hate the single digits, except for one thing. Look at the windows. I love that frost pattern. Ooh, I guess I should put a coat on before I came out here to show you this. Gotta find one that doesn't have a screen. Here. There's Snoopy. Oh, I had a nice shot there. What happened? There he is. Can always tell when his foot, that bottom foot, has snow up against it, that I have at least 6-7 inches of snow. What's the matter, Mama? Yeah? It's so cold she doesn't know what to do with herself. Look at this craziness. Isn't it great? Yeah. Let's go have breakfast. I had to pop back out on the porch because timing and lighting is everything. And now with the sun rising and the way it's hitting those crystals, let's see if... It's not capturing it quite the way my eyes are seeing it. Oh, it's so cold out here. Why am I not putting a jacket on every time I come out here? I love the way the sun is cascading out on the front 40. The Snoopy sled that I painted. Some remnants of thrifting and buying these boxes, these stackable boxes. There's 2 more over here. They just look so Dr. Seussian to me. I want to do something with them. And that's a sneak peek. This is the bottom half of that sorting desk that I got. The top part's out in the garage right now. You know, I follow a British YouTuber, and he talks about how Americans love their American flags. And it makes me very self-conscious right now because you can see the lineup of flags. And I know not every country does that. But because my husband was a Marine and my mother walked in a parade once and she came home with all those flags. And so I didn't want to get rid of them. I just hung them out here in front of the windows. Good morning, Mama. Say hello to the camera. Look up here. Over here. Say good morning. Come on, look up here. There she is. For whatever reason, cat butt. For whatever reason, she didn't wake me up this morning at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning like she normally does. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because she was cold. I don't know if it's because I fed her late before going to bed last night, but do you know what a novelty it is to sleep until 6:30 all the way through? I it's wonderful. But as a result of all that sleep and rest, my brain this morning is in overdrive, the producer director brain. And I woke up and decided I really want to share this journey of letting go of some past identities and purging the DVDs. So I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to do my journaling that I do in the morning as I eat breakfast. I have this that I've been using as a sticker a day journal and gratitude journal for the day prior. And then this one I set my intention for the day. So it's not an exact science. I've been known to have a couple of days go past. But since this has a weekly spread with a blank page here, every day for each day is what I'm grateful for. But in the month section, I've been trying to do a sticker a day. And then in that blank section, I look back on the week and do a themed kind of gratitude vision board. It's a video I'll do in the future showing this. But that's what happens in this brain of mine. I have so much that I want to share for you. I wish I could create as fast as my brain is producing. I wish I could produce as fast as my brain is creating. I have to eat. I have to nourish myself, my little Snoopy bowl. I have to nourish myself so I can keep up with the producer-director brain today. So I opened up my EDC to start today's intention. And I look over here, and this is the crux of what I want to share with you today in my video on this journey of cleaning out the clutter. Me to past identities. Thank you. Thank you for the pressure, but I'm a diamond now. You may go to the library now. You can be paid forward now and help someone else find their sparkle. I am not letting go of an old identity. It has been transmuted into the brilliant diamond I am today. You don't keep the training wheels. Once you find your balance and master the bicycle, you pass them on. What are you doing? This right here is the sound of my past getting transitioned. I have to say, one of the most cathartic things for me, purging out different items from my past, going through old notebooks, correspondence, courses, was taking some of that work, and I'd have the wood stove going, and sometimes there were moments where it was like, oh, I want this gone now, and I would toss it in and watch it burst into flames. And then sometimes it was things that were like, painful, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to let go of them, and it was like, I'm making the decision and it's going in because there's no turning back. So the wood stove has been a fun part of this cleaning out project. This is the fun shot right here, right? Ready? Close the door so we can get started. That's what I'm talking about. For those of you who are curious, the wood stove is not my primary heat. I do have an oil burner that heats the house, thank God, because it would be very cold in here right now. But the wood stove helps to offset the cost of oil for the oil burner, and it produces a heat that the baseboard heating just does not give off. When you get that chill and you want to warm up and you stand next to that wood stove, it's just, that radiating heat is just second to none, if you ask me. Anyway, there's still a lot to do, but we're getting there. I don't even want to show the top of my new Phoenix Bridge command center. This is driving me crazy, but it's a necessary part of this purge. But I want to open this box here. I figure it's about time, right? Instead of being attached to the table with that cable for my microphone. And I think this works with my cell phone, which will be good when I start doing outdoor videos in the spring. So let's get this hooked up, see if the audio changes. Oh, look how tiny they are. Quick start guide. That's what we like. Quick starts. Okay. One's a receiver and two are transmitters. Ooh, cat skins. A toy for Mama. And supposedly, yeah, if I still want to wear my lavalier mic, I can plug it in here and put this in my pocket instead of having this box on my shirt. And I think it also has a magnet. Well, we will have no instant gratification here. I don't know what I was thinking. Everything in this world needs to be charged. So they're going to have to sit in charge, and we're just going to have to go old school. Silly me. So I woke up this morning just brimming with creative gushing because this process of decluttering the shelves is not just about pulling things off, dusting them, putting them in boxes. It goes a lot deeper than that. If you're new to my channel, this whole thing is because I've been a caregiver to a Marine veteran for over 10 years, and we just went through the sloppy, messy, emotional end, the non-Hollywood version of his passing. In the hospital, life support. I'll stop there. And this is my recovery. I am a caregiver in recovery. And my passion and my oxygen is my artistic, creative ability and sharing my story and my journey with you, because I feel like so many of you could relate to it. My husband and I mourned his passing together because he had an illness that just went downhill. So I'm in a unique position where I went through a lot of crying and sadness before he even passed, and we shared that journey. So after he passed, there was a feeling of lightness around it. Now, I'm not saying that I'm all good. That's not a truth at all. But I just feel like my experience is a little bit different. We've only just crossed the 2-month time period of his passing, and I have been letting go. And I think it's important to share what the experience has been like. So I just sat and tried to put an outline together to keep myself from rambling and making this a 5-hour video. Anyway, let's see how this goes. This all began because while I was caregiving for my husband and working this YouTube channel, I don't like saying the word working, playing on this YouTube channel, I had to work within a confined space and confined time. The priority was always him and caring for him. So I had to live within certain parameters. And now I've been given this freedom to expand. And not only just physically, but he gave me the mental and emotional freedom to move on afterwards. So I got this Phoenix Bridge command center table that I like to call it. Right, I made that video. You can look back at how I can move it out with this idea that these shelves will be behind me and it can just look all kinds of professionally. Me standing there, the shelves behind me, and you watching me work. So it really all started as that. It was like, okay, the entertainment center, the VHS DVDs that we've seen so many times, out. And it started all innocent like that. Then I saw this quote scrolling through Instagram that said something along the lines of, poverty is not a lack of finances. Poverty is put off decisions and what ifs. And there was more within that. And as I read it, I thought, my God, why am I just going to stop here when I have bookshelves full of books of my own that I've been hanging on to? Why? I don't know. And also because I had spoken to my local library and they were willing to take donations for their book sale. They wanted the DVDs, they're looking for books. And I said, well, I'm not going to make several trips. I'm going to fill my husband's pickup truck. And I started a deep dive into every collection, every bookshelf. And it became this process of looking at past identities, right? My family has a history of entrepreneurship, so I always knew that in life we need to make money. And if I was going to have to do that, then I wanted to follow my own path and do something that I loved. And I would work in the meantime in these other jobs that paid money, but I was going to educate myself so that I could have my own business someday. And it was an exploration and a journey. At one time, I thought that I would like to be a naturopath or a certified herbologist. And I got a correspondence course in aromatherapy and essential oils and botany and and that fell apart for whatever reason. I had my art businesses. I used to paint windows on storefronts, and the list could go on. And the detritus, the leftovers of that journey were still on bookshelves. The books from the correspondence course, every book you'd want to read on, entrepreneurialism and, being wealthy, how to become a millionaire, all those books sitting on a shelf, post-it notes inside them, some of them very well written in the margins, taking notes, notebooks, papers, all of that stuff. But I think it all is around this conversation of not wanting to forget and having an attachment to that identity. I have to check my notes because otherwise I'm going to, and I want to try and be concise because this video is already long. I think I would hold on to these things, these artifacts of my life, like an Indiana Jones moment of my life. Hold on to this artifact because it's going to preserve the experience, or more importantly, it's going to preserve my identity. It's like standing sentry. It's like, save this thing or I'm going to lose a part of my identity. It's like what I wrote about in my journal with the bicycle and the training wheels. It's almost like you want to keep the training wheels to prove that you progressed to be able to riding the bicycle. See, I had the training wheels. There was a time when I couldn't and now I could. We don't need the training wheels cluttering up the garage anymore. The training wheels can go. I've found my balance and can ride the bicycle now. The amount of metaphors I'm using. We've got the diamond, right? It's like you want to keep the coal dust to prove that you've emerged into a diamond. And then of course we have my overarching, I want to do my wings, the whole phoenix metaphor, rising from the ashes. Yeah, do you keep the ashes? No, I clean the ashes out of the wood stove and keep them in a can because they're good to, I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent, but they're really good on ice to keep the ice from being slippery. So no, I don't keep the ashes. I spread them and fly away. All right, Barbara, this is getting too silly. Okay, here's another one. It's like calling yourself a masterpiece, but then wanting to keep the receipt for all the paintbrushes or keeping the paintbrushes and the dried up paint that was left over from creating the masterpiece to prove that you painted the masterpiece or became the masterpiece. At some point, we have to have self-trust that here I am in all my glory. Take it, leave it, but I am the masterpiece now. It's time to move forward. So let's move the conversation along about keeping the whole enchilada or keeping just a taste of it. Because when I was looking at the books, I didn't get rid of everything, but I kept maybe 3 or 4 ones that I really especially enjoyed, the notes that I took in there, and that from time to time, I know that I've gone in that room, pulled that book off the shelf, opened it up, and enjoyed reviewing what I've learned, refresh my memory. And I think memory and we want to keep this thing because we might forget. But it's really weird because I didn't mean to do this, but this conversation really leads to memory keeping journals. I have the 2025 stack of journals sitting here waiting for this project to get out of the way so that I can share with you the highlights and techniques of my memory keeping for 2025. Do you know that if I'm shopping and I see a journal and I like the cover or the cover art, it would always be a desire, well, I got to have that because I love the cover art. I came to a point where I realized that I could take a picture of the cover art and be just as satisfied and not buy the journal itself, because the journal itself is just a collection of lined paper. Okay. There are items within the house that trigger memories. I've been able to get rid of those items because I'll take a picture of them and I'll have the picture. I don't need to touch the actual thing. There were books, apparently, I've known a lot of authors in my time because there were many books where it had the author's inscription to me on the inside. And I was like, oh God, now I got to keep this book. Actually, what I did was I tore out their note to me, donated the book, and I kept the inscriptions. And I've decided that all those inscriptions are going to make a beautiful page in my memory keeper journal just in itself. As a matter of fact, I showed you I burnt or have ready to be burned a bunch of notebooks and notes that I don't need anymore. But every once in a while, maybe I'd find a quote or a line that I want to remember and I would save it. I have a pile. Like, out of all the stuff that I have had, I have this wee little pile now of things that I'd like to remember. And then you think, oh, well, where are you going to put that now? It's going to go in my memory keeper journal, because not only am I remembering those things, but I can remember that I spent this week or 2 weeks of my life letting go and celebrating that I'm letting go and emerging. I have to refocus now. You know what I'm thinking too, is that for a long time, I kept books on the shelves because I'd like to keep them as trophies. To be like, hey, you see all those books? I read those. I read all of those. Look, you can even see Post-it notes sticking out. I took notes. See that? See the Post-it notes? Do you want to read the notes that I took? I don't think there's one time in my life I've ever had anybody come in. I mean, first of all, it's in a guest room. It's not out here. There's never been that opportunity. And honestly, how does that make you look? So braggadocious. Do you see how wise I am? Again, this is me. Yeah, I don't know if those books would prove anything based on what you're. They don't show how silly and goofy I am. They don't show the heart of who I am. So, yeah. Bye bye, books. Go to the library and help another diamond in the rough learn how to sparkle. It's okay. Then I came across a bunch of books. I just put wood on the fire, so it may be crackling a little louder than before. I just hope you can still hear me. I came across the books that either I haven't read and would like to read, or maybe they were reference books. My husband and I loved camping and hiking, and we had a bunch of books about how to identify plants or birds or bugs or trees or I had to really evaluate, first of all, if I wanted to find out this information, is this where I would go? Like, would I really go looking through these books? Now, there is one, like, North American bird book, or I don't even think it's just birds. It's all fauna, perhaps some flora as well. I keep that book. But all these other ones, if I saw something on a hiking trail at this point, I'm using Google Lens, or I'm taking a picture of it and identifying it later. But that's just me. I'm not looking to hike with a compendium of botanical stuff. But there were some other books, just plain old fiction, nonfiction, and was it something I really wanted to read? Or was it a type of ransom note for a lifestyle I wish I had? Like, do I keep these books because I want to picture the day where I can sit with a cup of tea and read this book? Yeah. So there are questions to ask yourself too when it comes to books. At this point, I kept three books that I haven't read yet. And I chose one and I actually put it on the couch next to me where I sit. And the promise I made myself was not to sit and read the book, but to just pick it up every once in a while, maybe read a paragraph, maybe read a chapter. Whatever held my attention. But I wasn't going to just sit and say, okay, I'm going to sit and read for an hour now. I'm this artist, creative type, and sitting and reading words for me doesn't always work. Yeah, I'm more of an audiobook gal. I could be painting and listening to a book, and I'll absorb that book better than if I'm sitting and reading words. And there's nothing wrong with that. We are who we are. But I'm actually enjoying this book one blurb at a time. So here is a big topic that I think gets asked a lot. And when I look at my video statistics, I think maybe it'll have a little blip here because the question I asked myself, and I hear a lot of times from all of us who love making these journals, is what do we do with all these journals after we make them? And are we just trading one bit of clutter for more clutter in the form of journals? Like all those plastic DVD and VHS, all those covers. Did I get rid of them just to make space for a new collection of journals? But here's the big thing. We are the authors of those journals. They have our soul in it. They are expressions of ourself. It's the whole heartbeat of my channel is self-expression and giving yourself that space to be self-expressed. And when you're done, you can look at it and you can see yourself there. You can be in awe of something that you created, as opposed to a book someone else authored, as opposed to a movie someone else made. It's more passive, and you're the observer of somebody else's work. This is your heart and soul. And data compression would be a word I would use. The Memory Keeper Journal, it gets rid of the static and the noise of life, and it focuses on the gratitude. My Memory Keeper journals also include the difficulties, but it doesn't focus there. You know, there's some distilled version of the static and how I recovered from it or how I managed it. And I know, I wish I had it sitting right here. I have some dark artwork. I have some journals that are dark, that when I'm in that place, it comes out and I've captured it. And that's all well and good. Keep it. Remember it. Unless you feel the need to create it and then burn it in a, oh, my loss for words, a symbolic gesture of getting it out of you and getting rid of it. But you see the power in that. You see, calm down, Barbara. I don't think you're just trading clutter for more clutter. This is your artwork. This is the expression of yourself. Make space for it. Cat hair. This is the whole reason for the out with the old, making space for the phoenix to fly, the diamond to sparkle, or the masterpiece to be seen, or the bicycle to be ridden. I think what I'm getting at is you want to find a way to keep the meaning and release the weight. Do you want a basement or a closet or a bedroom filled with clutter in 20 years? Where looking at the book on the shelf that you haven't read and it inspires guilt that you haven't read it yet? Do you want that weight of looking at the clutter in the closet or the bedroom or the shelves? When you can find a way to distill the memory and give yourself space to breathe, and how much more laughing at life would you do when you give yourself time to become brave enough to let go, to see that your life and your memories aren't in those things anymore. Now I'm sitting here laughing with you and talking about it, but I went through my emotions. I went through tears. It even triggered some short-temperedness. You have to be brave to confront yourself and your past. And your past doesn't want to let go so easily. Which again is why I wanted to make this video. Well, I hope that didn't feel soapboxy. I didn't want it to be soapboxy. I just wanted you to know that I understand why we keep things, guys. I really do. And I understand why it's so hard to let it go. But I want to be the beacon of hope for you, that I'm doing it. I'm doing it. The boxes are there only because they only take donations Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then we just had this little snowmageddon. And I see that as a good thing because I'm deep diving more. Like I've moved on to music CDs now, ripping them, making sure I have the digital version of them, the cases and the CDs, passing them on. So you will live, you will wake up to see another day, you will survive. Make room for the new you. Show yourself that you're worthy. Love yourself enough. Now it sounds so boxy. Love yourself enough to laugh at life. Laugh a lot. Guys, tell me what your struggles are in letting go of things. Tell me about the stuff you want to keep. I've kept stuff. You get to keep things. Just not, just share with me, guys. Let's open up a conversation about letting go and being able to maintain who you are today. I love you guys so much. I really do. You're my oxygen.